Hello, my name is Chance Cooper, and I am currently an interventionist aide for Wills Point Woods ISD. And today we're going to basically talk about my consonant word wall and what it does, the purpose of it, and basically what we're going to do a quick rundown of what we're going to do, basically. Now, basically, the word wall it really helps students connect the sounds with each other. Well, we'll go over it in a second so you better understand it. But basically, it really just, instead of it being alphabetical order, like the normal alphabet goes, the word wall goes off of like how you say it. And it basically, it goes off basically the sounds it makes from the mouth and how you say it. Well, we'll go over it in a second. You'll understand a little bit more. But that's pretty much what it is. And now we're gonna go over the biggest purpose of the word wall. And it just helps students understand how to say it, and it helps them get a better understanding, helps how they say it, their articulation, all sorts of stuff. And it basically helps them develop a better understanding between the print and the sound. So when they're writing, they can better understand and connect with what they're saying or hearing. But basically, we're gonna start at stops. And stops is the first category of the sound wall, and it's probably the one everyone's heard before. And it's basically when your airflow stops like completely. It's like for example, B, B, E, you just completely stop. Everything stops. Or P, N, pin. It's just like that. It's your whole airflow stops basically. And then you suddenly release it. So P, N, pin. So that's basically what stops is. It's where you just like P, N, and then you continue. You just suddenly stop. And then keep going. That's why it's called stops. That's why it's called the first category. It's probably the easiest one and what most people have seen. It gets a little harder down the line, but that's the most common one. And that's why most of the pitchers have their tongue up. But yeah, that's pretty much stops. And then the next one is nasals. This is also kind of pretty self-explanatory too. It's where the air flows basically through your nose as you're talking. Like nasals goes to your nose. It helps you understand it. Nasals, nose. That's the best way to remember it. And basically, it's like where your mouth stays like a little bit closed, and it's really all your nose doing it. So it basically flows through like your nose and helps you talk. And good example of this would be moon, net. Them are probably the best examples I found. Them are really the two best ones. Now, the next one's liquids. And liquids is, you know how liquids are, they kind of flow smoothly, and that's exactly what liquids do. They kind of just like kind of flow around flow around your like tongue basically, and they just come out like leaf, and that's pretty much what it is. It kind of just flows without stopping basically. That's the best way to say liquids. You know how water flows? It's the same with liquids. It just kind of flows through like leaf, rainbow. It's basically stuff like that. It just helps flow, and hopefully that helps better understand you. You know how liquids flow, river flows. Well, basically, this helps flow your voice out. It's the words that you kind of say, like, I guess you could say they're pretty quick. It's just where you just stop. It's where you don't stop completely at all. It just flows all the way through. That's the best way to describe the liquids. Now, affricates. It's a little bit harder. This is where it's kind of combining sounds like cherry, ch, airy. I would say this one and fricatives are probably the two hardest ones to understand, and we'll talk about them. But affricates is really when you kind of your air stops and then just starts going again. It's like airy. It's probably one of the tougher ones, and hopefully we can talk about it and you understand it a little better. But basically, you can like see like your mouth. You can see it stop and be tight. That's why the mouths are like this. They're tight because their mouths are going. It's tightening up, and then that's the best way to go over affricates basically. Now glides is also, it's almost kind of like liquids. It kind of flows. It just flows. It flows smoothly through like vowels basically. So like web, or yo. That's the best way to do glide. It's a little bit close to liquids, but it has that little stop with the vowels. That's the best way I could go. And then the hardest and most common one, at least on this word wall, would be fricatives. And these are like where you just continuous sounds basically coming out, and where they just keep on like going through a narrow opening, and it's just constantly like catching, like zebra, or fish, van, feather, hat. All these would be great examples of fricative, and it's kind of where they like it holds the sound. It holds the sounds like s or f. And that it basically it depends on how they stop and how they start. And I think it's probably the best way for students to understand how they they start, and they like how they start and stop. But that's also why it's the hardest for them to understand, if that makes sense. Now, I would say that's pretty much the main reason of the sound wall. It's basically, it helps them better understand the sounds that are being produced, and helps them organize their thoughts. And this organizing their thoughts and how it stands, it's great for visual learners. Visual learners will benefit way more than students that are better than like writing it down and stuff. This actually lets them see it like with their eyes, so it's easier for them to understand what's happening. And this helps the students have multiple ways and they can always references the sound wall, and it's a really great thing to have up in your classroom. We actually have it in our classroom at the classroom I work in, and I think it's a great thing. You can always references it, and it helps remind them. That's another thing. It's a good reminder of what it sounds like. Or what's a word with it, and then they can like kind of reference it. That's a pen. So in. It's a good reference. And then it lets them also look at the mouse. They can look at the mouse and see how it's opening up, and they can kind of mimic it, or it helps better understand how it's coming out. Well, that's pretty much really that's the main points of the sound wall. Well, thank y'all for watching my presentation on the sound wall, and I hope y'all enjoyed. See y'all next time.